This video was sponsored by PowerCircle Clothing and Headbusters Food Company in association with Cook Up Unlimited.
Cook up!
Okay. So, something I normally don't do when I wake up in the morning. First of all, I thank God. That's what I normally do first. But it's only my thoughts, getting myself together. And I was thinking to myself, one of my Facebook friends put out a post comparing Michael Jackson. Let me say it again. Comparing Michael Jackson to someone. Now, I know we all do these debates and everything like that. And we all got a certain group of elite artists that can't be beat when it comes to verses. You know, everybody's really digging into this verses thing. So first of all, this whole versus thing is not like the same. I don't even watch versus anymore, you know what I mean? I think like the last one I saw might have been the Locks versus Dipset. I think that was probably like the last one I seen that I can recall. You know what I mean? A lot of the verses these days are starting to be a little bit lackluster based off what I hear, but I can't get past this one question though. And the question was, who's better, R. Kelly or Michael Jackson? Now, most of you, if not majority of you, should say, and probably would say, him. And I myself would say, him. I mean, I don't really have to run down his accolades. I don't have to run down what this man has done. And surely, respectfully, all allegations aside from either one of them, and what Kales is going through currently, can't take nothing away from Kales neither, because Kales is a bad man. But in this case, I'm not gonna tell you who's better, because this is not what this is about. It's more about making the right comparisons. And I'm only using these two juggernauts of artists to make this point. And so I decided that this is very vlog worthy, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just share my opinions real quick, shall we?
Who the fuck is this asshole?
This is not a podcast with the crew, me, myself, and I, right? Every now and then I used to do my top 10 in my opinions. This is just more like me just off the cuff. This is no theme show or nothing like that. This is just me talking on the real. I sound like I just woke up this morning. I brushed my teeth and washed my face, of course. I just sound like this. It's morning time. I haven't made my coffee, but I'm getting ready to do that. But I had to go ahead and tap in real quick though and really talk about this whole comparison stuff. Now, we have a lot of conversations. Like since I was a shorty, I think like the first comparison we ever compared anything to anything was the more popular one is the Tupac and Biggie one. That's another one too, because this is like a conversation I love to have all the time. And yeah, I could have made this like a special vlog for y'all with all the dressing and trimmings, but sometimes you just gotta go off the cuff. Now, normally I probably would have went live and did this, but nah, I'm just gonna we gonna flow with it. So anyway, you know, the whole Tupac, I mean, it sounds good in the barbershops. What was another good one? Jay-Z versus Nas. But to say MJ versus R. Kelly, there's really no comparison. Like, I mean, yeah, if you broke it down in categories, that's a different ball game. If you look at it in categories, based off that matchup, Kales will probably blow him out the water when it comes to certain things. But even with that said, overall, as a body of work, as what you've done, and now, mind you, one of them is currently still alive, which is Kales. Michael Jackson no longer is here with us in the physical. Even with that said, R. Kelly wrote 2 songs. Being one of them is one of Michael Jackson's biggest records, and You Are Not Alone, big record. He still used that even in his catalog. You know, that's a big record. And that was one of them records, that's a different record for a lot of other reasons. But Kales, I don't think, it ain't too many people you could really compare with Michael Jackson. I don't know one that's literally legit. He just got a bunch of kids running around here like Chris Brown, Bruno Mars, so forth and so forth. But we got to really compare certain people. Like, you don't put Kales with Michael Jackson. I get it, but you don't compare them to. I was telling my homies on Facebook. I was telling them I was thinking more like Prince Like, I would compare Prince. Like, I don't even like the Prince versus Michael Jackson comparison. That ain't even no comparison neither. You know what I'm saying? Because if you broke down like skill set and the intricacies of making a song, that's where like Michael Jackson is no match for these guys. That's when the narrative changed. Like, Mike don't compare to Prince, don't compare to Kells, he don't compare to guys like Marvin, Stevie is by far my favorite artist ever. Singer, songwriter, he's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kells, those two are my favorite. Like, in terms of like the ones that put in the work. Singer, songwriter, and we gonna touch on this is not a podcast, but this is not one of them. This is me, man. They don't just talking my talk, man. It's boss talk. You know, no, not too many cuts and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking pauses right now while I'm saying this. When I'm gonna cut this will be a long conversation. I did that. Now, normally this is something I probably would do where I engage on live or anything like that. But I think I gotta like carefully craft this without carefully crafting this. So I'm just gonna speed this up. But I'm saying all this to say, like, we should make our comparisons, like, we gotta make the matchups better, man. Like, it's not fair to Kells to be compared to Michael Jackson. And it's not fair to Michael Jackson to be compared to Kells in certain aspects. Instead of writing these words down, I definitely want to just get my rocks off with this one. Kells is a different type of dude, man. Like, yeah, you can, we ain't talking about scandals, we talking about talent. Like a generational talent, like somebody that can sing in any era, write in any era. That's R. Kelly. You gotta compare Kells to like Prince, Stevie. Now my homie said Stevie. I was like, yeah. You know, you gotta put him in the company of these guys. You gotta put Kells in the category of Steve, Martin, Prince. Steve, Marvin, Prince. Just to name a few, and then you can add whoever you want to add after that. They gotta be a singer, songwriter. They has to be an instrumentalist, and they gotta have the numbers. They gotta have the hits. They gotta have whatever your credentials are, man. But Kells is a different animal, man. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. You get what I'm saying? Like, same thing like when we compare the other MJ, the MJ of basketball, to other players. Like, you can't compare, you know. Like, I even heard some, like, what's another idiotic comparison? MJ versus Kobe, MJ versus LeBron. That's the one. That's the one that's just really retarded. Now I get it. I got friends that's just, including my pops. He do not like Michael Jordan. A lot of old heads be hating on Mike. I haven't understood that. I never really understood that. But okay. MJ ain't to be compared to with. That's why he's the GOAT. It ain't, you know, his body of work represents, it transcends. We not talking about social justice. We talking about the game of basketball. You can't compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan. You definitely can't compare Kobe to Mike. That's Mike's son. Everything he got from Mike. And that's respectfully. Kobe is Kobe. I love Kobe. Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. I don't care what you talk about. You can talk about boxing. In the golden days, you got people that talk about the greats, like before my time. Muhammad Ali, Rocky Marciano, so forth and so forth. But from my era, I'm an 80s baby, so Mike Tyson was the baddest dude I ever seen. We hear all the wonderful stories about Muhammad Ali. Now, Muhammad Ali is still considered the greatest of all time. You know why? They don't have nothing to do with records, anything like that. We talking about in the sport of boxing, you know, in a lot of people's eyes, like even like some of the people that I say that was the baddest I ever seen, and they would say Muhammad Ali is that because Muhammad Ali transcends boxing. So there's really no comparison to Muhammad Ali. But when we talking about boxing, as far as with these two eyes seen, Mike Tyson is the baddest I ever seen. So, you know, we're not gonna make this this is not a podcast. This is just me just talking about comparisons, period. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do this with minimal cuts. I'm definitely gonna say make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I still haven't made my coffee because I really had to get this one off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pause for the cause, and I'm gonna get my coffee started.
Cook up!
started. What was I saying? You know, we gotta stop with some of these comparisons, bro. And like, you got a lot of people that really like make videos and do stuff like this all the time. And I don't really keep up with the Verzuz thing. I don't know how they come up with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them be spot on and obvious, you know what I'm saying? You wanna hear your two favorite groups or artists or whatever genre go at it and just go down memory lane, vibe with the music. Hopefully the performances is there. I totally get it, man. But when we talk about comparisons, it don't matter who's better or not, because it's more about the matchups, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that is very important. I don't care if it's sports, music, politics, you know, whatever floats your boat, hustlers, you know what I mean? We can compare a lot of different things, bro. I thought it was pretty cool, man, but what really like made me go is the MJ and Kale's comparisons. Now, if I'm Kale's though, just the fact that people is willing to put you in the same category with MJ is a win itself, man, to be honest. You know what I mean? To be compared literally and really have a real conversation about it, that's saying a lot anyway. I think I'm gonna post this on Facebook real quick. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna post this on Facebook right now, literally. My question and comparison is, what gas station is the cheapest in your state? Sound off. That's the question. You want to compare something? Is it Shell, Marathon, BP, whatever it is, Texaco, whatever it is in your respective state? Let's compare gas prices. Who got the lowest gas prices? Let's compare. Now y'all can compare in what state or in your state, like who got the cheapest gas. That's something people really want to know if you want to compare something. Like, I'm gonna tell you, we having coffee since we comparing things, you know what I mean? Like, I remember like gas was cheaper. I'm not talking about like prehistoric cheap. We ain't gonna even talk about 90s cheap. We gonna say, you know, like Donald Trump cheap, or maybe even cheaper than that. Whenever when gas prices was cheap, it was always a protocol back home. We always went across the state line to get gas. If you was on the south side or in the south suburbs, you went to the state line and got your gas from like Indiana. That's what we mean by state line. We go to Indiana, go get gas, because Indiana gas prices was always cheap. That's one, that's why I say, man, gas prices is high everywhere. We want to know, because everything ain't cheap no more. Everybody complaining about gas, diesel, fuel, all that type of stuff. So, you know, maybe we can kind of start something, like we can kind of give everybody like healthy tips. Okay, so I'm gonna take a pause for the calls and make my coffee. I'll be right back.
Fuck you!
Okay. So, I'm back. I got my coffee. Y'all don't know how long this took, and y'all ain't gonna know how long this took, but that's okay. So now, I'm finna start my day. I'm actually finna make a few phone calls and do all that cool stuff. But don't forget, since we all on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button. Man, that's pretty much it, man. You know, watch all the videos to the end, you know what I'm saying? We need y'all to do that, you know, because I got a couple other things. Maybe next time I make some coffee or something, maybe I'll say that conversation for then. Oh yeah, I forgot. Keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means, get to the money. I'm definitely not gonna put my slogan video towards the end of this video, because it kind of remind me of like going live, but I ain't going live, but I still want to tap in and just speak my piece on that comparison stuff, and all that versus stuff. It ain't the same. And I think the matchup should be a whole lot better. I could say a lot more. Maybe we'll tap in on the next one. And like I said, I haven't used YouTube Live yet. I'll work my way up to it eventually. Right now, I don't think it's time to do so. But until then, peace.